Greetings and welcome to part 4 of ExoPlay's Super Mario 64 DS. So this is the star that we are going to pair our 100 coin star with. Because, you know, as long as we're going all over hell to get all of these red coins, we might as well get the 100 coin star along with it. And this is one of the easiest levels in the game to get 100 coins in, if you can believe it. Because they add so many coins to this, like, you could probably get 100 coins in this bottom area alone if you know what you're doing. Like, these logs drop like 5 coins a piece. Each of the piranha plants drop 5 coins a piece. If you couple that with, like, the red Mega Mushroom power-up that they added to this version, you know, and, you know, speaking of which, this bottom area of the stage, from this point... Sorry, from this point onward is completely new. It was not in the original whatsoever, or even in the Galaxy 2 level either. I don't know why. And speaking of which, it seems like every time somebody wants to remake Super Mario 64, like when somebody makes like an HD version and Unreal Engine that Nintendo immediately takes down when they find out about it. Bless the souls of the people who make those, by the way, because, you know... it's great that people are trying to keep this alive and trying to improve it for a modern era, but it always seems like when people do that, they don't bother to remake anything from the DS version. Like, they don't bother with the new characters, they don't bother with, you know, a whole bunch of things. Oh, I guess those guys drop fivers. Alright, yeah, so like I said, and then we go over here, and then there are 4 more blue coins right here. 4 or 5, I think. Now we only need a few more coins, and we're already at 100. And we've barely gotten any of the red coins yet. And this was just from the bottom area. So it makes it much easier to get 100 coins in this version of the game compared to the... Like, see, we already have 100 coins. Easy. And, you know, 100 coin stars can be really annoying in some of the later stages especially, so anything that makes them get over with quicker, I appreciate. Speaking of which, I should probably go ahead and start our timer. Yeah, so at this point we can just focus on getting the 100 coin stars. Let's see. And I think we already have 2 of them. And I guess they did change the Whomp character model to make it look more like the other games, because in the original version he was literally... The Thwomps were literally just like a fucking cube. You know what I mean? Yep. And they did move one of the red coins from... There used to be one on that little gravel hill to our right there. There used to be one up there, but they moved that to the Piranha Plant Grove in the new bottom area of the stage. And speaking of which, I do have to say, from a level design point of view, I consider Whomp's Fortress probably the best stage in Super Mario 64. You know, considering that the way that stars work in this game, the way that they work is, you know, you get one, they kick you out of the level. Considering that, I feel like Whomp's Fortress and the level design and the fact that you can pretty much get anywhere from anywhere, I feel like they really make that work with stars kicking you out. So, like, if I have to keep playing this level over and over again, at least there are multiple ways to do it. Like, stars are split up over parts of the stage, you know what I mean? And it's like, it makes it a lot more fun to play it. Ooh, that was a close one. This could be kind of perilous platforming-wise, so that's why I like to use the owl to get up there instead. Like, you're supposed to, like, knock this plank down and walk across it, but it's just like, I would much rather just use the owl to get up there because it's faster. Anyways, we got all 8 coins, so let's go ahead and grab that star, and there you go. I always thought that Stargate sound effect was jazzy. I think they brought it, they kind of like remixed it for Super Mario Odyssey when you get a moon. It's like, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-bam! And that's basically the same as the star one. Let's see, we still got a couple left, so let's hop on in there. But it's like, you guys can see how quickly pairing 100 coin stars with the regular stars makes it go. It's just like, I feel like, what, you know, definitely I used to do this. Is, you know, it's kind of the same thing with blue coins and sunshine, is people will get all like the regular stuff first and then like go back and get the 100 coin stars and the blue coins, and it's just like, the game goes much faster and is a lot more fun if you do 100 coins and blue, or 100 coin stars and blue coins alongside the regular shines. And the same thing applies to Super Mario 64 as well. So that's definitely my recommendation. It's like I said, the reason I like collectathons and why I really do appreciate this genre so much. What makes it fun for me is knowing where everything is, so I can get it all in quick succession and, like, casually speedrun the game, if you guys know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna break any world records on Super Mario Sunshine 120 shines, because I'm just not that good, you know what I mean? But I can still get through the game pretty quickly at this point, just from experience, you know what I mean? So it's always like people always say, well, the only reason you don't have blue coins is because you know where they all are. And it's just like, and my reply to that is like, yeah, no duh. I didn't say anything to the contrary. And I'm not saying that blue coins are perfect or anything, because I know a lot of people who will still fight me on that, you know what I mean? It's just like, if that's your position, fine. If you don't like getting them, you don't like getting them. I said my piece and it didn't convince you, so we'll just leave it, we'll just agree to disagree, but I guess my point is that that's kind of the name of the game with collectathons, and why I like this genre, is that I like the fact that it's kind of like 100%ing a Metroid game, you know what I mean? It's just, when you first play Super Metroid, you're not gonna know where all the reserve tanks and missile tanks and energy tanks are. Like, you're gonna have to play the game a few times to get that down, and then once you do, where the game starts to really become fun, in my opinion, is once you've mastered that, then it becomes about trying to get everything as fast as possible, trying to 100% speedrun the game. And collectathons, for me, have an appeal that are pretty much the same thing, where it's about, okay, now I know where all the blue coins are, I know where all the stars are, I know the best ways to get the 100 coin star shines, rather. So what makes Sunshine fun to me, especially, is trying to figure out the best route through stages to get them all as quickly as possible. And that, to me, is where a lot of the game's replay value comes from. And I think we're gonna go this way real quick, unless if the game doesn't let me. And yeah, and so that to me is fun. I can get that out of Super Mario 64, even with the game kicking you out after every star, you know what I mean? Like, and that's where the 100 coin aspect comes from, figuring out other stars to pair that with that make it that faster and more convenient. By the way, they expect you to sneak up behind boos and punch them, but it's so much easier to just ground pound them, so that's what I'm gonna do. There we go, got 2 for 1. And don't worry, there are no 100 coin stars in the hub world, so you don't have to worry about that, but it's like these boos drop red coins. And it is one of those things where, this is one of those things, like in terms of the secret stars, that's pretty hard to forget doing, and like even if you come back, they won't have the red coins anymore, so pretty much all set. There is one more I still haven't gotten yet, it's probably over here somewhere. There he is. So yeah, you just jump over them and ground pound them. It is a much easier way to take care of boos than sneaking up behind them and punching them. Like, if you do that, I don't know why you would do it that way, just ground pound them, it's so much easier. Anyway, here's one of the new levels over here, and that is playable in Super Mario 64 DS. It requires one of the human characters to get to. But this stage is primarily meant for multiplayer. Like, Super Mario 64 DS does have a full multiplayer kind of battle royale where you race to collect as many stars as possible. And like I said, you get hit, you drop your silver star, so be careful about that. And as always, we do have our trusty, dusty map down here that will show us where all the silver stars are, so it certainly makes it easy. And once again, I'm not showing that because people prefer to just see the screen with the most relevant information. By the way, something I want to stress is that something that's difficult to visualize when you're watching this upscaled on YouTube, you know what I mean, is this game looks fan-friggin-tastic on a DS screen. Like, If you still have a copy of Super Mario 64 DS in an original model DS, especially, or a DS Lite, doesn't matter, go pop this game in, and I think you'll be surprised how good it looks. Because this game actually, compared to even many 3DS games, actually has some anti-aliasing in it, surprisingly. Like, if you look at the edges of the character model that you're playing as and some of the other main characters, not everything in the game has anti-aliasing, and the textures especially do not have filtering on them, so they look more pixelated. They're actually, many of them are actually the same resolution as the original game. It's just the original version of the game put a bunch of texture filtering on it to make it look blurrier, you know what I mean? Personally, I prefer that sharper look, but it's like I said, this game is meant to be viewed on a teeny tiny 2-inch screen, you know what I mean? And on that tiny 2-inch screen, it looks great. And beyond that, we're gonna go ahead and get a 100 coin star for this right now, because now seems like as good a time as any, because you can explore the full level, and I think we'll pair that with the red coin star. There's some spy doors back here that we can kill, and it's like I was about to say, the character models in Super Mario 64 DS look way, way better than the character models from the original game. Like, Mario was made out of, like, a bunch of spheres, like, crammed together, whereas here he's fully box modeled, which is the more professional way to do it. I don't think box modeling was very common back when the original game came out, but still. They managed to... He looks great. All the playable characters look great in this game. And this game came out in 2004. This was a launch title for the Nintendo DS. And very few DS games really attempted to try anything this ambitious again. Like, the closest thing I can think of is, like, one of the Chibi Robo sequels on the DS is, like... has, like, the same gameplay, I think, as the original GameCube game. I think it's either the second or third Chibi Robo game. It only came out in Japan, but it looks about as good as this game does, and it controls similarly, I think. I've never played it myself, because like I said, only in Japan, no translation, because Nintendo hates Chibi Robo for some reason, and refuses to, you know, give the fans of that franchise what they're asking for, so they keep making shit like Ziplash that nobody wants to play, or that fucking camera... 3DS camera Chibi Robo game, where it's like, you know, can you just make a real Chibi Robo game? I think that's what the fans want. But I digress. And I don't know, it's just like, I find Super Mario 64 DS especially impressive, considering that this is a launch title. It's one of the few games to try free roaming 3D, and it plays great, and it looks great, and it's improved so many things over the original, and it's kind of disappointing that Nintendo didn't try more of that on the DS. Most DS games just ended up being 2D. And to be fair, they looked better than, you know, the GBA and Game Boy Color games that came before them, but still, it's kind of like, this console can do 3D and you're not going to do anything with that? I always found that disappointing. Like, I remember, I think I talked about this in the review, seeing like a screenshot of Super Mario 64 DS in like a, in a GamePro magazine, I think is what it was, or like maybe a Nintendo Power, and hearing about like, seeing like screenshots and seeing like, whoa, I'm gonna be able to play Super Mario 64 on the go? And like back then, the idea of having 3D games on the go was like amazing, and like, I just couldn't believe it. Nowadays, that's kind of bog standard, especially with the Switch being a thing, and, you know, the 3DS being a thing. But, you know, still. And then the DS came out, there was this game, and the Chibi Robo game, and a few other games, like I think, you know, the Pokemon games have some 3D geometry in them. The game's not fully 3D, but all the environments were 3D, to some extent. They're pretty low poly, but they're still 3D. And then other than that, that was pretty much it. Everything else was 2D, and it was... I don't know, and it's just like, I guess... Before I did the review for this game and came back to try it again, I was expecting it to not be that great in terms of 3D gameplay, and I was pleasantly surprised how well it held up in many ways. Alright, so this red coin, they moved up here. It was not there in the original version. Like I said, Mario's Power Flower ability is basically the pea balloon. So you go up here and grab that. Can't remember where the last red coin is. It's somewhere around here. Maybe it's upstairs. I can't remember exactly. I feel like I should have found it by now, but regardless. To get up there, you can either wall jump, you can triple jump, or you can use the pea balloon. I call it the pea balloon. I think it has a different name that's like official for this version of the game, but I don't remember what it is, so yeah. Right, come on, you grab it. There we go. So there's the 100 coin star, and because red coins are more annoying to grab again, yeah. And we can actually go rescue Luigi right now, but we're gonna go wrap up the red coin star first. Because it's much easier to go back and save all of the... Okay, now that we're down here, we're gonna be here for a while. I just can't remember where that last red coin is. I feel like I should have them all by now. By the way, if you're wondering about what those brick blocks, black bricks are for, those are the bricks that only Wario can break. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Now we have this elevator that will take us back up to the first floor. Very slowly. I don't know, it's just, yeah, you guys get how this works. So, okay, yeah, I accidentally pressed the camera button and got stuck for a second. So where is that red coin? Like, I got the one next to the piano, I'm pretty sure. By the way, that piano used to scare the crap out of me as a kid, so... Fun fact. Oh, there's the last one. I don't know how I managed to miss that, but the red coin star is on the second floor. Yeah, there is a way to get up to the second floor without beating Big Boo, but it just seemed like the more convenient thing to do since I'd already killed all the other Boos for the blue coin star anyway. But it's like, you see this, it's like, what reason is there for me not to be able to get both of the stars in the second floor at once? Why is it kicking me out and forcing me to do it again? You know what I mean? That's... Spyro doesn't do that, Banjo doesn't do that, Toy Story 2 doesn't do that, Jak and Daxter doesn't do that. I don't know why the Mario games felt the need to do this. You know what I mean? It's just, it just seems like... Like I said, Sunshine does the same thing, but to me they lessen the pain by, you know, having time pass and whatnot. But I digress. Let's go. We're gonna go kill all of those Boos again, because that's necessary. And I chose to do this instead of getting all the red coins again, because... I was trying to pull off Trick Shot to dodge those chairs, but... And like I said, killing them with ground pounds is oh so much more convenient than trying to punch them. I don't know why they need to show me that dialogue every time I kill one. Alright. And there's another one right here. Yeah. I know, it's kind of... I don't want to say I've exhausted my commentary here, but it's like, I don't know really what to talk about since we've already done this. I already talked about the controls and stuff, and, you know, once we get Luigi, I'll have plenty to chat about, but for the time being, it's like I'm kind of running on fumes right now. So hopefully once we get to the next couple stars here, I'll be able to... Oh, here's something. You guys remember how I said that the bosses in this game are kind of crappy? Well, the Big Boo is a very good example of that. This boss is literally the same thing over and over again. We're gonna be fighting this guy 3 times. There's no challenge whatsoever to defeating him. And they felt the need to bring him back 3 separate times and make no changes to his fight. Why? I could not tell you. But I digress. That's it for this part. See you guys in, I think, part 5. And we'll continue playing Big Boo's Haunt. So, yeah, until then, I'm Exo, and I'll see you guys next time.